I'm Midnight Agent Raw.
And I'm Okame.
We are the Super Media Bros podcast, and we are founding members of the OddPods Media Network. It'll devour Cincinnati.
Grab his dick and rip it off.
Endless possibilities.
All that and more.
Would you like spaghetti or a sloppy Joe?
Why not both?
Super Media Bros.
Seriously, I really feel like I should have had either of those dishes today. I did not, but I feel like I've completely betrayed our show brand by not having either dish.
This would have been the first episode that we would have had a 7-course meal while recording.
I don't think we would actually get an episode recorded, though. We'd be too busy shoving our faces the whole time with our fat fucking asses.
So anyway.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 188 of the Super Media Bros podcast. I'm Midnight Agent Raw.
And I'm hungry.
Same. We're back with Cult Cinema Showdown 81, and this week it's a food fight for the fucking ages. Spaghettiman versus Inhumanwich.
You heard that right.
Yeah, you did. Now, I've got to say, we have a list. We have a to-do list of plenty of fucking movies. These two have been on the radar for quite some time, at least on my end of the spectrum, just because whenever I got hurt, like a few years ago when I was laid up, Amazon Prime was like my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And these two movies, like Spaghettiman popped up, and I was like, this looks fun. Watched it. And then as soon as it ended, you might also like Inhumanwich. I was like, fuck it.
It was like that whole binge we did on Amazon where it's like, oh, you watched Sharknado. Why not watch the other 20 shark movies?
Yeah, and then watch this disaster movie. Watch this disaster movie. And then if any of you are longtime listeners, you got the big ass 4-way battle with all the weird animal shit like tsunami and
Arachnoquake.
God.
And, yeah.
Either
Anyway.
way, yeah.
We're all about food, not bugs.
That's it. So I guess let's kick it off with Spaghettiman, dude. This movie, I was very surprised at as far as the production quality, because it's very well done. Like, it's very well shot for like an independent movie. Very well done and very funny.
Oh, I know. I think that was the kicker for me. But it's kind of just, I mean, it's obviously parodying Spider-Man, but the humor is there basically. And the vibe I got from the humor was like they combined Deadpool and Spider-Man into like one character basically with the humor.
Yeah, because I mean, there's that, and then it's just a parody on the superhero genre in general. Because the fucking character's name is Clark Kent, like Kant, Kant. But yeah, the character of Clark, he's just this kind of slacker who lives with his best friend Dale, who is a police officer, and he's kind of trying to get out from behind the desk and get to action. To make a long story short, Clark can't really hold a job or any of this shit, right?
Correct.
So Dale tries to get him hired on at another job with this connection he has, which I laughed my ass off at because Clark just shows up with a fucking paper, like a printer paper with a Sharpie, and that's his resume. And that poor lady was just looking at him like, yeah, okay.
The funny part about that scene was when they role played, like, okay, let me give you a scenario and tell me how you would actually react to it. And the entire time he was like, well, just take a hammer to it or beat it.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm having a problem with my remote control. Have you tried hitting it with something or hitting it with a hammer or some shit? She's like, well, we wouldn't actually tell them to hit with a hammer. Yeah, but that's how you fix things.
Why not hit it on the table then?
Yeah, exactly. Like the second one was like, oh, just hit it against the table. She's like, what? It's like, well, you're hitting it against something. You're not hitting it with something.
Mm-hmm.
But that tells you right off the bat what kind of humor this movie is going to have. But he leaves and he gets this spaghetti. It looks like it's in a little styrofoam container or something. He's eating it, and him and Dale are talking about shit or whatever. Well, later Clark goes home and he reheats this spaghetti, but he falls asleep on the couch. And while he falls asleep, the microwave has this weird, like,
radioactive episode.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe it.
It's a powerful fucking microwave too.
Yeah, it like hulked it because there's like green aura coming from the screen.
It's like the Bruce Banner edition.
The Bruce Banner dish.
Yeah. So he wakes up and he's like, oh, I forgot there's spaghetti, which I laugh my ass off at because he flops the spaghetti in the bowl, puts it in the microwave. But when he comes back to eat it, there's sauce on top of it that wasn't there before.
Maybe it's like that's how the radiation works. It just puts the sauce over there like a fine chef.
Is that secret sauce?
Mm-hmm. It's not cranberry sauce.
It's definitely not cranberry sauce. However, he eats it and he immediately gets sick, drops the bowl and all this crap. So he goes to take a piss and he starts to realize, I just pissed pasta into the toilet.
He just shovels it out the toilet and throws it out the window.
Shit was so funny. But basically, he has become, he doesn't call himself Spaghettiman yet, but he can shoot spaghetti out of every part of his body, including his dick. And he can sneeze it, he can cough it, spit it, fling it, whatever. But I love when he goes to get help for it. Because the dude that he goes to see, I guess it's his doctor, he's just like, so are you like shoving dry noodles into your dick? He's like, because I've seen it. I've seen people, they shove stuff right in their dick and it comes out, blah, blah, blah. It's really funny.
It's like, why would I do that?
Yeah, but what makes me laugh is that he doesn't believe him. So he unzips his pants right there and just pisses into a cup and he just sits it on his desk. He's like, here.
He drinks some spaghetti pee.
Yeah.
So what was also funny about this scene was he was asking, was like, so do you have any like issues with this whole thing? Like how you're reacting to it? It's like, well, I don't know. He's like, well, do you have anxiety from it? Well, a little bit. Okay, well, I'm gonna write you a script just for the anxiety.
I know, like it's not even a big deal at first. He's just like, oh yeah, well, check this out. Here's the anxiety. What?
It's like, what kind of doctor are you? Well, you see the plaque behind me? Oh, yeah. He fucking dispenses cannabis.
So there comes a point in the movie where Clark stops a mugging. And this is where he figures out he can sling spaghetti from his hands. So he goes out and he stops another mugging with a bag over his head. And he looks at the one person, he's like, they're like, what are you? He's like, I'm the spaghetti man. And then the dude that got mugged was like, I wish I could repay you. And then he's just like, actually, yeah, you can. What's in your wallet? He's, well, I think I've only got about $42. That'll do. And he just takes it. And I'm just like, you literally mugged the guy that you saved from getting mugged.
And one of my favorite lines of this whole fucking movie happened right here. It's like, thanks for saving my life, dick. Dick with $42.
That's one rich dick.
I know. I fucking love that so much.
Then he goes home to tell Dale about all this shit because he's trying to pay Dale back for, supporting him and all this other shit like that. And then Dale kind of gets pissed because he's like, dude, you have like this power, which he doesn't believe him at first. And he shows him, he's like, holy shit, you can do this. And he's like, do you realize you could be saving people or whatever? And Clark is just like, dude, I can get paid to punch people. But Dale is like, no, you should really be using this for good and not for selfish reasons. And that conflict comes into play in a bigger way later.
What I don't understand about Clark is once he becomes Spaghetti Man, he suddenly has like strength and reaction speed and everything like that to fight normally, when in the past he was a bum. Like he didn't know what to fucking do at all when it comes to fighting. Because that whole mugging scene, like he was literally like jabbing and kicking and shit like that. It was like, where'd this come from?
I don't know, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So there's like this montage that happens of him getting paid to do shit for people. And it's not even like, oh, I'm doing this, because I want to. He's like stopping a car robber. There's like a potential mugging. And every time he catches like the perpetrator, he goes up to the victim and he's like, so like you can pay me or I can just let these people go.
And you can just come back and, hijack your car again. Gets paid and then the girl runs off with the fucking Noodle handcuffs.
Yeah.
No, my favorite one was when he grabbed the guy in the wheelchair.
I was going to say the same thing.
He was like, no, I don't need help. So he literally pushes him across the street and pulls him up a flight of stairs, like 2 flights of stairs. And he's like, you'll thank me later. I'm not wanting to thank you at all.
He's like, I had a place to be and now I'm late for it.
Yeah.
So he goes back home. He comes in the front door and Dale's like, you really should take the mask off before coming home because, there might be villains out there. And Clark's just like, villains? Seriously? And Dale gets more pissed. He's like, dude, I really wish I could be out there, but I'm stuck at this desk. You don't understand how infuriating it is.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, Clark's just like, hey, I'm on TV. And people are filming him. And he's getting put on television. And this leads to something else later.
He looks like the whole Bigfoot, like the way they film how he gets trapped in the video camera is just like he walks and then he turns.
I think that was the intention. And it was
Yeah.
pretty fucking funny. Because, I mean, he's got this bag over his head. And whenever we say like a bag, we mean like a brown paper bag. Like if any wrestling fans are out there from like a decade or so ago, remember when Cody Rhodes had the bag over his head in WWE whenever his face got fucked up? That's the kind of bag he's got on his head.
No, when I saw that, it reminds me of that episode of Futurama where the guy had the bag over his head. He reveals his face. It will like suck the souls out of everybody he sees.
Oh my God.
I can't remember his name. It's like starts with a C, like Caleb or some shit. But yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
So this is the point where Clark is like, you know what? I'm going to make a Craigslist page. So now he's got this thing where he gets dinged on his phone on his Craigslist page. It's like, okay, superhero for hire, basically. There's a scene there's a lot of scenes that come into play later that's really funny. That's what I think I like the most about this movie. So he's practicing slinging his spaghetti, kind of like Spider-Man, where he was like practicing the web sling. Yeah. Well, he breaks this plate. And he hurries up and fucking hides it because apparently this is like one of Dale's like plate collections that are on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's where he shows him like the whole Craigslist thing or whatever. Well, he finds one and he shows up at this lady's house and her name is Stephanie. And this is where you find out that even though he is Spaghettiman, he really likes soup.
That's pretty much like every time he makes a house call, it's like, do you have any soup?
Okay, and total sidetrack here, but because Cody and I have beards, tell me if this is something that you thought about when this was happening. That motherfucker's beard is so big, I'm just kind of like, dude, when he starts slurping the soup out of the bowl under the bag, I can see remnants of it just running through his beard. And I'm just like, oh, that's got to stink under that bag at some point.
I mean, it just brings me back to when I drink coffee and it just falls down my beard. And I'm like, ugh, get off my face.
Caffeinated aroma for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Save it for later. Speed of saving it for later because she talks about her dude, Gary, is being kept for ransom because he owes like drug money or some bullshit. So like he looks at her, he's like, all right, I'll take it. Now, can I get this to go?
Mm-hmm.
He wants the soup to go.
It was strange how he ate it though. Like he would literally like lean his head down, like pull the bag just a little bit underneath her.
Oh, I know that the fucking sound. Ugh.
Anyway.
So the scene where he makes his first, I guess, Craigslist rescue, I use that term very lightly.
Yeah.
He fucking shows up to this house or apartment to get Gary, but he rolls in on these people and he starts like talking to this one guy and he just pulls his gun out and he shoots Clark in the stomach. Well, this is so funny because he gets shot and you're just like, oh, fuck, he just got shot. But when the bullet hits him, you just see this spaghetti like noodles just spray out of the back of him. And he's just like, huh. So he can't be hurt.
Yeah. I mean, he's literally made of noodles.
But what makes me laugh is like that happens. And then he just like, okay, he starts going off and fighting these fuckers. And then one dude trips or some shit, or he causes this guy to trip and whack his head on the coffee table. And he's like, hello?
Are you dead?
Oh shit, I think I just killed this guy. And then no sooner than he says that, this dude just comes out of nowhere and stabs him in the stomach and he's just, ah! And he fucking grabs the knife out and stabs the guy in the stomach, like nonchalant.
I remember earlier in that scene, whenever Gary pops, like, I'm Gary. Like, shut up, Gary, get back in there.
Oh yeah, he comes to the window.
Yeah, so I guess the ringleader of the group, he ends up like holding Gary hostage with the pistol in his hand. And he keeps telling him to leave. And Clark's just like, no, you're going to do what I say, basically.
Yeah, because he fucking goes, you can shut your ugly mouth and eat a bowl of justice.
It's like, no, okay.
I was trying that and I guess it didn't land. So anyway, he brings Gary back to Stephanie and then he just dances the fuck away and he's being filmed again.
No, you forgot another funny line. He's like, he said some other like corny line, like catchphrase, like, well, thanks, Gary, for appreciating my catchphrase. You know, I worked so hard on it.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I'm coming here to rescue you. And God, Jesus Christ. But yeah, like, so he gets filmed again and it shows up on the internet. And then Dale gets a rejection letter from the Force. Then Clark gets his fucking ass kicked. And then he breaks this guy's ankle. So he finds the dude that's been filming him, Anthony Banner, and he basically threatens him because he's like, dude, you're making money off of me. And you're stealing my money, basically. So Anthony's like, well, how about we just talk about it over a meal and coffee? He's like, all right, cool.
And yet again, he's eating soup.
Yeah, he's easily persuaded with food. Like, you probably could pay him in food and it would be just...
Well, at first, all he ate was spaghetti. Now he's eating nothing but soup. I mean, obviously, that's his form of payment.
I wonder if it's kind of how... I wonder if he looks at it as like, this is cannibalism. I cannot eat this pasta.
It's impossible.
It is impossible. Have you ever noticed it's always like a cheese-based soup?
Like a broccoli and cheese.
Yeah, or just, I don't know.
Baked potato soup.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking hilarious, though.
But no noodles.
Yeah, no noodles, just the liquidy goodness. Like, does he even have like a solid meal in this movie other than the spaghetti?
You know, now that I think about it, maybe he needs only liquid substance because you know how noodles absorb liquid?
That's right.
So that's a thing.
His blood type is now ragu.
Ragu positive.
That's right. And then there's this point where in the conversation, they make a deal where it's like, okay, well, if you have a thing that you're going to go do, tip me off so I can film it and we can split the money. So that's a thing. And then meanwhile, Dale keeps having these conversations with himself, you know, and he's basically playing the role of himself. And then he's talking like his coworkers and all this other shit. And it's basically this conversation about setting Spaghettiman straight.
But that was after the fact that he kicked his own ass, like liar, liar.
Right. Oh, I forgot about something. In the restaurant, Anthony. Yeah, moved here to make movies. Instead, I'm chasing ambulances and now a crazy son of a bitch with a bag on his head. Wife's going to love this. And then Clark's like, yeah, well, it could be worse, you know. A bunch of ninjas could break into your apartment, kidnap your pregnant wife, and slap her around a bit.
Just like...
I know, dude.
Awkward as fuck.
I know.
That would never happen, but you know.
I mean, if you're in Miami Connection, it might happen.
Somewhere in Miami.
Somewhere in Miami.
Which I think this was based in California, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah. Opposite end of the country.
That's it. Well, at home, Dale gets drunk and basically berates Clark for the superhero gig because he's taking advantage of people. And then Clark is just like, you know, the whole city needing me is very frightening. And Dale's like, you're a coward. And then this random dude is getting his ass beat by a guy named Keto. And then we hear the whole Batman voice in the background, and it's fucking funny. He's just like, I'm here to offer you a deal. It's like, what the fuck? And it's actually Dale. And then you find out that Dale is trying to get this guy to team up with him to recruit a whole gang of people to take Spaghettiman out. Well, Anthony and Clark are at Anthony's house with his wife, which that scene is pretty funny because he winds up singing a really, really funny fucking song to the twins in her tummy. And it's pretty damn funny.
It's a bit cringy too, but yeah. Because like he would get started on the verse, he would stop, and then we get back on another verse and stop, and then he would do a line and stop. I'm like, she's just sitting there, just like holding her stomach, like, oh my God, just kill us all.
I thought it was funny. Like he's eating soup at their house again. And she's like, well, you couldn't have just offered him a sandwich. He was like, he wanted soup.
It's like, it's more portable to go.
Yeah, exactly.
And he walks into the bedroom. He's like, what do I do with the bowl? Like, I'm done.
You want me to just set it on the counter? Actually, if you could put it in the dishwasher, that'd be great. And then Anthony's wife is asking him, and he was like, well, you're giving him a ride home right now? And he's like, yeah, I promised him I would. And she was just like, no, I don't want you to give him a ride home. And then no sooner than that, the conversation starts to kind of come to a close. Clark comes out of the kitchen and he's just like, yeah, I think someone broke your dishwasher. I'm going to just walk home. Dude fucking broke their dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
And now we get to Dale and Keto auditioning the gang members. This is one of the funniest fucking scenes in this whole movie. Like, they're literally auditioning people like it's a fucking stage play or some shit.
I still remember the one guy that's laying bricks down. He's like, yeah, I work construction, so, you know, I'm used to carrying bricks around and laying them down. There was a part where they're like, okay, show me what you can do. And then he was literally laying like sandbags down kind of style. Just,
it was just like mimicking like or like air mimicking. It's like air guitar, but like working on sandbags.
Airbagging.
Then we get to Sir Dick Ripper. I don't even know what his actual name was, but that was so fucking great.
He looks like Michael B. Jordan from Black Panther.
I was going to say the same thing.
Warmonger.
Didn't you say Dickmonger when you texted me?
Yeah.
Dillmonger.
He's like, gonna grab his dick and rip it off, like I said earlier.
Just like my grandmama taught me. That fucking line was great.
He's the most intense motherfucker in that whole group besides the one dude with the freaking tactical gear on.
Oh my God.
Like, those were the only two that would actually do anything. The other guys were like these nerds that like found the ad, was like, do I qualify or what?
Right. Well, then Anthony calls to let Clark know that a guy was beaten up downtown with spaghetti everywhere. Obviously a frame.
Right.
Clark was like, I don't know shit about this. It must be a copycat. So he talks to Dale about it, and Dale's being short. So this is a point where this homeless kid, like, he gets set up on his Craigslist ad to where this homeless kid that he ran into earlier was getting beat up, and then he gets caught, like, talking to him by Keto and the rest of this crew, and they fucking kill this kid, and they basically record the kid on the phone, and he's like, say the Spaghetti Man did it, and he's just like, oh, no, he ain't gonna say that, dude. He owes me, or whatever the fuck, and he's like, Spaghetti Man did it. He's like, what? And they fucking shoot him. You got sold out, bitch.
The first time I met him, though, like, he had nothing to offer him when he saved him, so he just shot spaghetti in his lap. He's like, there you go, a free meal.
Have a nice warm meal. And he was, like, legit about it, too. That's the funny part. He was, like, being legitimate. He's like, nah, dude, here, have a nice hot meal.
Mm-hmm. Of just plain-ass noodles.
That's why he didn't fucking save him. He's like, bitch, you didn't put any sauce on these fucking noodles. How am I supposed to eat this dry? This is worse than a fucking Cracker Barrel biscuit with no drink.
I mean, do you want food or not?
No shit. This is where we come to Dale, who has beat the shit out of himself and just wrecked the house to make it look like he got knocked out and the house was ransacked. And this is the best, probably one of the best, like, comeback around things about this movie, because Dale is like knocked, quote unquote, knocked out, and Anthony and Clark come in. And they're like, oh, dude, are you okay? Oh, man, what happened? Oh, no, dude, somebody just, they came in and they punched me and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, look, dude, they messed up your favorite plate. They broke your plate. Shit was great, man.
But yeah, he basically tells Anthony, like, fuck off in his own way. Like, I'm done with this stuff. Get the hell out of my house. And he basically throws away the bag. And he's like, I'm done fighting crime. And Dale, kind of doing the reverse psychology at this point. He's like, no, you should actually, steal the city ninja. He's like, no, you need me right now. Like, I need to help you.
Shouldn't you be out fighting the people that did this to me?
He's like, no, I'm here to help you.
Right. All these things where he's like bathing him in the tub and like feeding him cereal, and it's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah. Like, he's literally just being the mom, dad, grandma, like, caretaker, I guess you can say.
Right. Well, at this point, it's not working. So Dale calls Keto, and he's just like, time for plan B. So the burner phone rings. We forgot to mention that he has this burner phone for his
obvious reasons.
Yeah, and he kind of threw that away too. Well, it's ringing in the dumpster, and it's Anthony. And he goes to his house, and he's like, where is it? And it's a note that's stuck to the wall of the knife. And it's like, we have your wife. Bring the Spaghetti Man or we take her head. You know the number. And he's like, well, how do we know the number? How do they connect us? Anthony was like, it's Dale. He's the only person that's seen the two of us together and knows anything about this. And he's like, no, it can't be. Call him. So he calls him. And lo and behold, yep, he figures it out. He's just like, son of a bitch. And so the final showdown takes place at this fucking jujitsu gym. And they're all having this dialogue about how they're going to kick his ass. And they're showing each other how they're going to kick his ass with certain combo moves and all this other bullshit. And it's pretty fucking funny.
I mean, he pretty much lays waste to everybody. Doing the whole, like, spewing the spaghetti and doing the kicks and the punches and all the other shit.
I think the funniest fucking part about this is when he shows up in the front door and they're all waiting to fight him. And he's like, come on, let's do this. And they're just kind of looking at him. And they're looking down at him. And he's like, seriously? Like, they waited for him to take his, like, because you do this in dojos and shit. They waited for him to take his fucking shoes off before he got in there to fight him. It was so stupid. I loved it.
Respect. But yeah, Keto eventually fights him, confronts him, and he gets his ass handed to him to the point where he is stomping the shit out of him.
Dude, yeah, he basically stomps him into mush because he breaks his ankle at first and it's just spaghetti. So he pounds him into noodles.
Dude, the motherfucker reminds me of those scarecrows that you see in, like, Halloween props.
Dude, what if they made scarecrows with dry spaghetti noodles?
Mm-hmm. He just falls apart. It's like, oh, let me put his leg back on real quick.
If it fucking rains, it's ruined.
Yeah. It's just a soggy body just sitting there. Like, what happened to him?
He turned into Scardo.
He's not al dente.
No.
Oh, no. The saucy bitch. But no, we think that this is the end of Spaghettiman. Oh, no. Because somehow his body forms back together. We don't know why. It just does. And the paper bag becomes very Spider-Man-esque.
That's what I think is funny, too, because like when he does put his costume back on, which is just like a red hoodie, a pair of blue jeans, some sneakers, and the brown paper bag, which I fucking ironically, aside from the paper bag, I dressed like that for a hot minute. You remember the red hoodie I had.
Oh, I know.
So I was like, what the fuck? I feel attacked. I'm in this movie and I do not like it.
Except you're a spaghetti man that eats spaghetti.
Shit.
Full meat sauce and everything.
Everything. But anyway, yeah, so he reforms and he fucking shoots a dry noodle right into Keto's forehead and it kills him.
Bruh, I just remembered the fucking noodle nunchucks.
Yes.
So whenever he's confronting the rest of the guys that were still standing, he literally like slithers out like a handful of noodles on both sides and he's just whipping the shit out of these guys.
That kind of made me hurt though. Like just imagine like these thick fucking noodles that they're not going to break. It's like getting just tail whipped in the face repeatedly.
Well, I mean, apparently we know his weakness is Keto's foot.
I just thought about something really fucking funny. In a keto diet, you technically shouldn't be eating starches and pasta.
God fucking damn. It's all full circle now.
Yeah.
That's why they, yeah.
That's if that's why they named it. Yeah, I was going to say, if that's why they fucking named him keto, fucking kudos.
We don't do carbs.
We don't do carbs. Fuck you.
Carb stomp. That's the fuck what he did. He's literally he curb stomped
He's
him.
carb stomping him.
Yeah.
You will diet, bitch.
I got this body with the keto diet.
Getting ripped. So he chases Dale to the roof. Or Dale is just like, oh, I wasn't set. Oh, first of all, whenever he got killed, Dale had a change of heart because he fucking ran out and was telling Keto, he's like, no, I didn't hire you to kill him. I hired you to just take him out. So then he chases Dale to the roof after he kills Keto. And he's just like, I didn't set you up to fail. He's like, I set you up to succeed. So you can either, what do you say? You can either like save your best friend or kill the villain. And here's the worst part. You did it all for free. Mm. And then he's just, no!
Good morals!
Exactly. So the weird part is like Dale's coworkers, the two guys that always gave him shit, the two cops, they arrest him. Then Anthony Clark and his wife get in the car. And he just kind of sits there. He's like, for free. And then Anthony's like, I'll forever be in your debt. And he's like, wait, as in, you have to pay me for something? And he's just like, I guess. It's just a figure of speech, blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, all right. So Clark gets out the car and he starts to walk off. And they're just like, where are you going? And he's just like, guess you're going to have to listen to that police scanner to find out. And then he walks off in slow motion. And this is where the movie should end, except he turns around and gets back in the car. He's like, yeah, no, it's 11 miles to my place. I'm going to get a ride. That's technically the end until you get to the after credits. And then the after credits has a line that says Spaghettiman will next be seen in Avengers Infinity War Part 1 or Justice League, whichever one will have him. The end.
I mean, I would assume he was in Endgame because there was so many fucking superheroes. He just happened to show up and there's like, hey, I'm here.
He likes soup. He is a super hero.
Yep.
That's Spaghettiman. So I've been thinking about going back to college.
Oh, yeah. What are you going to study?
The female anatomy.
Good choice.
Thanks.
But there's got to be more to college than certain curves.
And no, we're not talking about the grading curve. It's back to school time, and we want to make sure you pack the essentials to have the best year yet.
Wait. Is this a pop quiz? I wasn't ready for this.
No, it's not a pop quiz. But if you'd like to be the valedictorian of ball trimming, join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com using the code SUPER.
Teacher, what all comes with being a valedictorian?
Well, first off, the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is here to teach the boys a lesson on male hygiene. Inside, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant,
Oh, wait, hold on, teacher. Hold on. I'm still writing this stuff down. You speak too fast.
The Crop Reviver Toner, plus 2 free gifts, the Performance Boxer Briefs and the Shed Travel Bag.
Will there be extra points if I wear the boxer briefs?
I mean, yeah, but it'll also give you the confidence to do anything you desire. New year, new you.
And new ladies.
That's right. This 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. It also allows you to shave your pencil down and customize your trim through additional guard lengths with sizes 1 through 4.
So wait, is it like A is a 1, B is a 2, C is a 3? Like, is that the grading scale for this?
Precisely. The Lawnmower 4.0 also has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multifunction on-off switch that will engage a travel lock, and it gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave.
It's actually gonna be pretty good, you know, when I'm going to those night parties and I can't see stuff because they have all the lights off.
This is true, and you know, just in case you happen to spill a drink or anything like that, it's also a waterproof trimmer. This package also comes with the Weed Whacker to chop your worst weeds up top in both your nose and ear. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual blade system. This nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in the delicate places on your body.
This thing is more impressive than my laptop.
I know, and you spent a lot of money on that thing.
Yeah, like $5,000.
After trimming your pubes and cleaning your holes, show them some love with the Manscaped liquid formulations. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner are here to get you ready for class during the day and ready to party at night.
Sounds like some chemistry going on.
That's the best kind of chemistry. Manscaped also throws in their 2 free gifts to the Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. One is a comfy front pack for your balls and the other is a backpack for your goods.
But which is which?
You have front and back balls? That's an odd medical condition. Well, if you'd like to spend less money than your laptop was worth, get 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com using the code SUPER at checkout. That's 20% off with free shipping using our code SUPER at manscaped.com.
Or you can spend less money than college tuition.
This year, graduate with a degree in clean balls from Manscaped.
Is this all on the test?
Yes.
Welcome everybody to the Potaskew Podcast. I am...
Whoa, dude. No. This is our promo, not the show. I'm Rico.
Oh, sorry. I'm CJ, and we're the hosts of the Potaskew Podcast.
We're fans of pretty much anything and everything pop culture, including movies, TV shows, books, video games, comics, music, and of course, Kevin Smith. Now, while we do keep our fingers on the pulse of Silent Bob, he certainly doesn't need our help in promoting him.
You got that right. We do our own thing, with inspiration from the man himself and his mantra of why not. We've got stories about celebrities we've interviewed, theories of our own for certain movies, and we can usually tend to have a great debate about anything.
We also do commentaries on movies. Sometimes we ask our fans what they want to watch with us. So if you love the timbre of our vocal cords and want to watch a movie at the same time, give us a listen.
Stay tuned every Monday, there's always something new. And if you've been good this year, we may even give you a bonus episode from time to time.
So please be good and subscribe to and enjoy Potaskew, founding member of the OddPods Media Network.
Let's take a trip to Ohio in black and white.
What was it, like the 50s?
I don't even know if it was like set in a specific time. I just think it's funny that we're in black and white and we're in Ohio and this is a movie called Inhumanwich. Let's cue up all the astronaut shit because surprisingly there is a shitload of astronauts that came from Ohio.
Yeah, because in this part, they are launching a program where they're supposed to orbit around the planet, and they were studying something. I forgot what it was. Oh, they were not studying something. They were trying out their self-made gravity, basically, in the actual pod or the rocket, basically.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, dude, like...
Joseph Newman, a good old American Joe.
Yeah. But I think what got funny about this part was the president and his wife show up.
Dude, oh my God.
And they show the president what's going on with his machine, right? So Joe is literally throwing a baseball up in the air and it's going up and down like a normal baseball does. And he's just so fascinated, like, wow, that's great.
I know, like, the president is just, like, stupid.
But what's even worse is they were talking about something. I can't remember the line that started it, but the first lady said something very sexist, and her and the assistant were laughing so hard, and the entire room was just kind of like,
Yeah, I remember. It was, they were sitting there and the president being surprised that they're getting any kind of video signal whatsoever. And he's just like, it's an honor, Mr. President. I must say, I voted for the other guy. Just kidding. I don't vote.
yeah.
And the way the director explained it to the president was like, it's basically like a vacuum.
That's right.
And the first lady was like, a vacuum in space? That's just what we need. Another place for women to do housework. And then her and the
assistant
were just dying laughing, and everybody was just awkwardly just standing there like, oof.
Like, really? Do we need that kind of humor?
I think the line that made me laugh in that scene, too, one of them was the flight director being like, I'm no rocket scientist, but... And then he proceeds to explain how gravity works.
Right.
And they're sitting there just like, oh, well, can't keep a man in space hungry. It's time for your lunch break, Joe. And he's like, I wonder what Lisa packed me. And they're just like, Lisa's his wife, damn good cook, blah, blah, blah. She makes the best sloppy joes and all this other shit because it's a sloppy Joe. And then they proceed to talk about how Joe has to leave out onions from the recipe because he's allergic. And then they're just like, yeah, we're really mentioning this for no reason at all. Very nudge, wink, wink.
But yeah, the president and the first lady leave because, obviously it's like, keep up the good work, making that wall.
Oh, no, dude, because the fucking rocket goes into a meteor field.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because he's trying to maneuver through this fucking meteor field and it winds up damaging the ship and they have to kill like the gravity thing and nothing's working right. So all this chemical is leaking into the ship and Joe like falls over face first on the sloppy Joe and he's screaming bloody murder like he's getting merged with the shit, and then the feed cuts and then the president just sitting there, he goes, well, that sure was fun. Let's go get some lunch of our own. How's Salisbury steak sound?
They have a mean Salisbury steak at the cafeteria.
Salisbury steak.
It's like, what the fuck just happened?
I just think it's funny. He just claps his hands and he's just like, that sure was fun. Let's go eat.
So somebody should tell his wife, Lisa, what exactly happened.
Well, when Ed calls Lisa to tell her what happened, I died laughing. Everything he's telling her, she's repeating right back to him like 2-second delay verbatim.
And she's just whiny as hell when she talks. She's like, he did this, and this, and this. Oh my God.
But it was so purposely stupid.
Yeah.
It was how she just, when she hangs up, she turns and bites her knuckle. She's, And then they come back and it's just funny because they're just like, oh yeah, we just watched this man just die basically in space. But let's talk about the cut fruit in the cafeteria and how the juice from the cut fruit leaks and fucks up the rest of the food on the plate. So that's why we have these dividers on this tray. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
It's like we lost a good astronaut, but cafeteria food. So isn't this where the rocket actually falls to Earth?
Yeah, in a second, because they figure out where it's going to land, and it's going to land on a farm. And the doctor that's in there says the radiation is astronomical. All the puns are happening in this one, ladies and gentlemen.
Definitely.
Then he talks about how the agony will be like if he actually lives through it. And then Lisa's crying as they all awkwardly just stand there. And then they're just like, but I'm sure it'll be just fine. All right, let's go. And then they just fucking nonchalantly walk out. Like they don't give a shit. None of these people give a shit.
But we have the little couple. The teenage couple in the car.
Oh my fucking God. Dude, kudos to these kid actors. Holy shit. It was so funny.
Yeah, the girlfriend was literally telling the boyfriends like, it could be somebody in trouble. Don't you want to go over there and help them? It's like, no. So you would rather make out in the car than actually help somebody? I mean, yeah.
She's like, well, no, we're going to go help them. And he's just like, yeah, I'm going to need a minute before I can stand up.
Yeah.
So they wind up finding the ship, and like right at the same time that the crew from the space station arrives with Lisa and everybody, and Joe comes out of this fucking thing disfigured as all hell, got this long arm. He's still in human form at this point. He eats the girl and he eats the boy. And then there's this, quote, remote farm.
Oh, Lord. Yes.
Yeah, this fucker finds Joe and he tries to shoot him, but Joe has become a giant wad of meat.
Now, I love his reaction to the monster roar in the forest. He's like, must be those damn raccoons.
Dude, if a raccoon sounded like that, I'd haul fucking balls.
Yeah, I wouldn't live there anymore. You think my rifle's going to do shit today?
No, and it's probably Rocket Raccoon coming out of there with a rifle of his own. He's just like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, yeah,
I'm going to steal those batteries.
I'm going to need that leg. So the doctors and the assistant talk about how Joe is probably a hell because of this wild weekend that they had with Joe and these hookers and all this other shit. And then Lisa just kind of shows up and she starts crying and they're like, oh, but I'm sure he's fine. That's a big running gag, but he's okay. So the farmer got eaten. And then they all find the remnants of this meat trail. And then they find all of the bodies and shit. And they're like, oh, well, we should really get this sample back to the lab. And then he tells Murray, you're coming with us. And he turns back, hey, we need to get this sample to the lab. And he turns
like 4 times.
It's fucking funny.
I know. And they all react like with the same importance.
Like it's the first time they're being told this shit.
Yeah.
This is another thing. Like both of these movies have like great comedy writing in them.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the remnants of the bodies, right? They're all stripped down to bone, like nothing but skeleton.
It looks like fucking, it looks like Spirit Halloween skeletons.
Yeah, because the eyes are literally just, caved in. They're not actual holes. And I don't know the guy's name, but he literally is like analyzing one of the bodies. It was the girl's body.
You talking about Dr. Chang?
Yeah, Dr. Chang.
Yeah.
He was literally analyzing the girl's body and he licks the skull. He's like, yep, that's tasty. It's meaty.
So in tasting, what we do is take a small amount right off the top. It doesn't take much. That's the warmest part right here. I'm going to invert the spoon. Cover all 9,000 taste bud. Aerate it. Warm it up. Driving up that top note. That cream. Pure vanilla. Sweeteners. That's a 10.
So they ask one of the assistants, I forgot their name too. I don't remember names very well in these movies, but
You talking about the dude with the glasses?
yeah,
Floyd.
Rick Moranis.
Yeah, that's Floyd.
Yeah, he tells him to bring the body back for analyzing it, and he
Isn't he eating it?
no, he's picking up the fucking skeleton and he's just like hauling it over his shoulder, and he's just picking up the pieces because they fall down.
Oh my God. So dumb. Yeah, because they're talking about this residue and they're just like, oh wow, it's missing onions, but it's pretty delicious because they're fucking eating the trails because they're like, yeah, there's no harm in the residue that's left behind.
Right.
And Floyd's eating and he's like, yeah, it's missing onions, but still pretty tasty. There's no real logical reason for me to say any of this at all.
Mm-hmm.
So the doctor is just like, if he grows, he will eat Cincinnati, the chili capital, and it will cover the entire Midwest in a matter of days and the planet within weeks. And they all flip the fuck out. The best line. For multitude of reasons. It's not even so much a funny line. It's just like, oh my God. Get me General Graham.
This dude.
This is probably the funniest goddamn character in this whole fucking movie. He is sitting in his desk and there is a picture of Tom Selleck on the wall as Magnum PI. And he's in full fatigue with his helmet and a fucking cigar and he's chewing. And he gets this phone call and he just looks at the private next to him. He's like, let's go blow us up a meat monster. And this is where they go to this house. This is the scene because you texted me and you were just like, what the fuck? What did you say? Why are army dudes like rolling around in a yard or some shit?
So yeah, there are 2 particular parts of this scene that I'm laughing, but also like questioning. One, like he was talking about, whenever the general pops up with the army van or the army Humvee, all the fucking like soldiers jump out and roll around on the ground like they're actually fighting in full freaking like prone position and everything like that, while the rest of the group is just like, oh, hey, General. I'm just curious as to what the fuck are they doing.
I'm just surprised at the time they wasted instead of the time they saved because the general was there. Because for a great low rate,
Get some insurance.
you could go online, go to the general and save some time.
But anyway.
Not sponsored.
No. They eventually come to the conclusion that Joe is in the house. And they fucking fire all through the fucking house, thinking that he's dead. They open the door and apparently he slipped through the back door. So it's like, where the fuck is he going?
Was this where they get eaten?
Oh, yeah. The soldiers get eaten because they try and open the garage door. And they all just one by one slip in. That one fucking soldier, he just cracked me up. He's like, I did nothing wrong.
Yes.
He's like, oh my God, I feel sorry for you, but that was fucking funny.
I did nothing wrong.
Both of these films have great one-liners, man. I cannot, say that enough.
My legs! He's got my legs! Oh my God, I'm dying! I did nothing wrong! And fucking Floyd, they pull him away, and his legs are at the knees. Fucking more Spirit Halloween skeleton legs. And they're just shoved in, like he's in no real immediate pain this entire time. He's just sitting there and he's flipped the fuck out. And at one point, I don't know if it's this scene or if it's later, but there's one point where somebody is massaging his fucking leg, trying to make him feel better. And it's like, dude, it's a fucking bone.
What is the point of this?
Yeah, Lisa's massaging his fucking legs, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
But the other part of this scene, now this is the cringiest fucking part of this whole fucking film. They interview a neighbor.
Oh my God.
And they're like, did you see anything, meaty, monstrous in the area? This guy's like, well, I'm no Snoop. And that's saying, and he had this long fucking montage of, he's basically a fucking pervert.
I was going to say, just imagine Herbert the pervert from Family Guy, in human form. This dude.
Because he talks about how, someone who doesn't wait until this certain person comes home, waits till their blinds are open, gets binoculars, waits till they go into the shower and watches them for so long. I'm not that type of person, and he just keeps going on and on and on, and literally everybody there's like, did you see Joe or not?
You're right.
And he's like, yeah, he went that way.
Meanwhile, at a church picnic.
God.
Where? Everybody gathers around to see Mitch sing a rockabilly song, and they're all which is funny because he pulls this fucking guitar out, and then all of a sudden he's got another bassist and another guitar player, and it's real rockabilly. There's no drummer, but there's a full band sound happening as they're singing this fucking song. Everybody's dancing, and there's a big fucking table of food, and this dude goes to get some chili that's on the table, and a hand reaches out and just pulls him, sucks him into the fucking tray, and eats him.
Mm-hmm.
Even the priest is just, oh, balls. And then he gets eaten. And then the general arrives to save some more time. And everybody else does. And then Mitch and a friend decide to electrocute Mr. Joe Blob Briggs, a.k.a. Meat Guy, a.k.a. Joe.
A.k.a. Meat What?
That's right. But nothing happens, and Mitch gets shot by the army, and the fucking general's, you missed! I told you bullets are useless. Okay, let him have it. So he fucking throws this grenade. And then there's a couple that was by Mitch, and they catch it, and they blow the fuck.
Oh my God. Yeah. Nope, that didn't work.
Nope, not at all.
But then they got the idea. It's like, wait a minute. Joe's allergic to onions. Why don't we use that?
Yeah, oh my God, yeah, because he tells this one private, he's like, take this grenade and blow him up. It's like, they might even give you the Medal of Honor, son. And he goes in, and you just hear, nothing happens.
Yeah. But they make another private literally go to the picnic table to grab onions. And the rest of the crowd is just literally screaming like Joe's like, yeah, over here. We're right here. Yeah. They're, hollering and stuff. The private eventually gets to the table, and you just see from behind that eye from Joe. And he just fucking gulps his ass. But you see the hand from the private grab the onions and just pull them away.
Right. And then at some point during this whole shenanigan-filled scene, Lisa attempts to talk to him. And I can't remember every line verbatim, but she basically says something like, it's me, your wife. I know and there's a good man, blah, blah, blah. Remember when you walked me over to Tom Hanks in that restaurant because I was too shy to meet him?
And then just...
Yeah, he just squishes her. But what was funny about that whole thing when she was just like, yeah, you remember when you walked me over to meet Tom Hanks and he said he wanted me for $100 and you said, hell no, she's at worth at least $150? That's my husband, the man who wouldn't let Tom Hanks molest me for less than $150. And then she gets fucking squished.
And not by Tom Hanks.
No. No.
Tom Spanks.
Yeah. Oh, God. That was so dumb.
But yeah, panic ensues because now they got to figure out like how they're going to take out Joe.
Yeah, because
worth more onions.
Yeah, because they need like a shit ton of them. So while this is happening, the doctor grabs a fresh sample and then they leave to Cincinnati because that's where Joe's going to be, which the president's there. And the assistant's like, oh, well, while he's doing all this, I can take you to see the house where George Clooney lost his virginity in. It's on the list to visit, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, ooh, Batman. And they fucking walk away, dude.
The president is literally talking to this like important person or something. He's like, you might want to leave, honey. And then he says that line. It's like, yeah, George Clooney. And she's like, ooh, Batman.
This is so dumb. So the general and the army show up in this same town and they're setting up camp. And then the fucking mayor arrives and he's just like, what the hell are you doing here? And the general basically tells the mayor that the town is fucked if this thing gets here. So he's like, well, all right then. So he gets in his car to leave and then a rocket just flies and just... Well, I mean, we did have a mayor.
Yep.
The key word is did. He's dead.
He got dead in.
And it was these two fucking noobs holding this rocket launcher. And then the general doesn't even berate them for killing this guy. He just goes, I told you this is forwards and this is backwards. And then they figure out that Joe isn't going to die because he will build an intolerance to the onions. So the doctor and Floyd talk about this whole thing and how they're going to do this. So Legs McGee is making leg jokes the whole fucking time, which I think is what he's like, well, we got to get a leg up on the situation and put our foot down and all this other shit.
And Floyd's just like Jim Ross and just...
Right? So they figure out the way to beat it is an acidic solution, basically the kind that's in your stomach. So to eat him, basically.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we can make him lethargic enough with onions to have him eaten. So we need to find a competitive eater. And so this is where they find Bert Stevens.
Mm-hmm.
He gives this whole speech about how he used to be a competitive eater until a wing contest at Hooters, which he never really finishes what happened to make him stop competitively eating.
I mean, he was probably competitively eating.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So Joe busts through and he starts like chasing these people. God damn it. And this is another one of these fucking lines where this black dude falls the fuck down and he goes, yes, I didn't die first. And he gets fucking eaten. Ah!
Oh my God.
I was like, what the fuck? So like Bert is allergic to onions, has memory of this random conversation where he's just like that's where they find out like the competitive eater is allergic.
Yeah.
And he has this fucking memory of this random ass conversation where he's like saving this dude or whatever, or like somebody he knows is dying. And he's just like, if you ever get a chance to save like, I don't know, Cincinnati or something like that, do it for me. So Bert is just like, fuck it, I got to do it. So they throw these onions on him and they won't absorb. So Floyd jumps out of this fucking window. He's like, you know, I already lost my legs. He can't take my legs again. So he jumps and he fucking stomps the onions into him, but he realizes, oh shit, it's like quicksand.
Yeah.
But it was funny because when he jumped, who was it up in the window? It was Dr. Chang and Ed.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, no! Just a fucking long ass no.
Oh my God.
And you hear, pfft, and I did not think this through. And he just fucking sinks and dies. Yep.
Slurp.
But then Bert like comes out and he's ready. He puts this fucking like bandana on and he's got this t-shirt that says, I survived Ralph's Thunderburger. So I want to know if there are any Ohioans out there around the Dayton, Ohio, Cincinnati area. Hell, any area in Ohio.
Does this place exist?
Yeah. Does Ralph's Thunderburger exist? Hell, I mean, from the middle, if you guys are listening to this, you could probably tell us if Ralph's Thunderburger exists.
Because if so, I have to find out. I want to go there and say that we survived Ralph's Thunderburger. Mm-hmm.
So he winds up eating the shit out of this thing and he starts getting really full. And then Ed's like, no, you can't quit on me now, son. He's like, what the hell is that? And he's like, something to help you. And it's a fucking muscle relaxer injection into his fucking jugular. Just, wait, what is, it's gonna help me to relax my throat. He just starts fucking eating it.
Just that meat slip down the throat.
The meat slide down your throat hole, Bert. But yeah, he winds up eating him. And they save the world. And it was funny because he's like, did we save the world, doctor? For now. Yes. And then Bert just walks up. So this is going to sound really weird, guys, but do you want to get a pizza? It's like, you're hungry after eating all that? Surprisingly, yes. So that's pretty much the end of Inhumanwich. And then the credits are in color because the whole movie's in black and white. I don't know if we mentioned that at this jump, but the whole movie's done in black and white.
Yeah, we mentioned that in the beginning.
It hides the effects really well.
I already know what mine winner is.
I think so too.
Spaghettiman.
Yep. Because as fun as Inhumanwich is, like, I think for me, it's a combination of things with Spaghettiman, honestly. It's the actual production value, because it was very well done, very well shot. The acting was pretty fucking solid. I liked the plot. Even though it was derivative of, like, the superhero genre, it was still original. It's fucking spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
The casting, the script, I think the whole thing just worked. And even the humor didn't feel forced.
Yeah, Clark was like naturally funny to me. I get the stylization of Inhumanwich where it was pulling a lot of inspiration from like the old school days and just the social aspects of the people back then. But like you said, I think this humor was a little bit corny, forced, more so than it needed to be, even though there are a lot of great scenes with great dialogue. Like, some of it just felt like too much for me.
What did I tell you that it reminded me of? It was like, yeah, the movie reminds me if Attack of the Killer Tomatoes and FDR American Badass had this fuck child.
That's right.
Because
it had the stylization of FDR, but it had the concept of killer food with tomatoes.
Dude, FDR American Badass was so goddamn funny. And I think like that's where, like, if you're looking for that kind of humor, that's kind of Inhumanwich. Like, it's a little less R-rated in Inhumanwich than in FDR, but I think the on the nose humor is exactly what it is.
Yeah, I think the only reason why I like FDR, the way the humor was done with that, was because it was just stupid extreme. Versus this one was kind of...
It was stupid, but it wasn't like extremely stupid. Does that make sense?
In a way, yes, but it was just not... It wasn't delivered very well at some points to me. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. Like, this one...
It was hit or miss.
This one didn't really, like, catch me the way I expected it to.
Mm-hmm. But it was still enjoyable. Like, I'll admit, it's enjoyable. These are movies that I will actually watch outside of this, because I've done it like 3 times now.
Yeah, because I laughed at Spaghettiman way more than I did at Inhumanwich.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're looking for some time to kill and you're looking for just some stupid humor, these are both on YouTube, so go check them out. Check out supermediabrospodcast.com for past, present, and future episodes. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Podchaser.
Get that damn merch.
Yes, go buy some fucking merch. We promise that it will protect you from becoming a spaghetti man.
Well, would you rather be a spaghetti man or a monstrous sloppy Joe?
I think I would rather have a spaghetti dick.
I just remember the fucking water boys like, needle dick. I just like, noodle dick.
Noodle dick. Noodle dick.
But no.
He's making fun of Joe, like, being like a stirrable meat. And he's like, I got a wooden spoon.
I'm the astronaut.
I'm going to the moon.
I make gravity.
We promise the water boy is going to happen on this show at some point. And what are we going to do next week? We don't know yet. But I'm sure it's going to be fun if you just come back and just listen with your ear holes.
Could be music related. Could be TV.
It could be anything.
Gaming.
Could be food related again.
Because, you know, we're
fat.
We're fat fucks. I mean, I'm a fat kid on the inside.
And I'm literally fat. I'm working on it, but I'm literally fat.
PHAT,
Yes.
son.
All right, well, we're going to roll the fuck out of here. If you've made it this far, we hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we will see you guys next week. Until then, I've been Midnight Agent Raw.
And I'm Okami.
Soup's on.
Stay hungry.